Hello and a very warm welcome to a brand new Greyhound racing show, Track to Lion, brought to you by My Racing and of course the Racing Post. I'm Dave Clark from the Racing Post, and joining us on our quest for a winner or two today is Matt Newman and Dave Mitchell from My Racing. Well, I'll introduce those two guys. Matt first up, I think head of content at My Racing, but a very shrewd judge as well. You can see him featuring the Racing Post frequently. Matt, how are you?
Yeah, very well, Dave. Thank you.
Some top class action to get stuck into tonight, and a shrewd tipster and a technical whiz as well, as helping us put all this together is of course Dave Mitchell. Dave, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Hopefully we can pick a few winners tonight.
Let's hope so. Right, obviously with everything that's going on in the world right now, the world of sport has seemingly ground to a halt almost, because ground racing, the show does still go on. As of tonight, there will be no more open racing, but grading racing for the foreseeable future will continue to go on. But we do go out with a bang tonight on the open racing scene. Two huge finals, both available to watch live on Racing Post Greyhound TV at Sky Channel 175 and FreeSat 176. Still City Cup final, the RPG TV Still City Cup final, £10,000 up for grabs there, and the Ladbrokes Monmore Puppy Derby final. That's going to be shown as well, real treat for RPG TV viewers on the channel a little bit earlier on as well. £12,500 up for grabs there. Some stars of the future on show there. Mention where you can watch the action. Matt, I'll throw to you quickly, because with the world of sport, as I say, seemingly ground to a halt, lots of early prices out there. If you like a bet on the dogs, you've never had such a good time, because there are so many prices out there. Seemingly all the firms are pricing up nearly every single race.
Yeah, absolutely. With no horse racing in the UK at the moment, it's the time for the dogs to shine, and long may they continue to do so. Yeah, bookies pricing up earlier than the normal. We have tips on My Racing every day. When there's no UK or Irish horse racing, we'll have two sets of tips, one for the afternoon bags and one for the evening bags. And hopefully we can we'll find you all some winners.
Absolutely. Well, we'll touch a little bit later on what exactly My Racing is and where anyone watching can find out and get involved in that. Let's move on to the action, of course, tonight. As I mentioned, first up, RPG TV Still City Cup final. That's live on the channel. I mentioned Sky Channel 175. You can also stream that live on the Racing Post website, greyhoundbet.racingpost.com. Let's have a look at some prices then, because it's quite an open market, Matt. One or two small moves for the wide seed Deadly Expert. In fact, we've got a unique final here in that there are 5 unseeded dogs, or railers, dogs that favour the inside. But Deadly Expert, he's out wide, he's a wide seed. That's what the W you can see on the graphic there is. Where he wants to be, he should seemingly, run his race out wide.
You would certainly think so, wouldn't you? He's got plenty of early boat, which will put him in a good position at the first bend. The 5 is likely to head to his left as a railer. He should have a beautiful run clear out wide early on. Just a matter of whether he's good enough from there.
This is a competition steeped in history, a prestigious competition as well. It dates back to 1970. Some real superstars have won it in recent years. Roxanne Nidge won it 2018, 2019. We go back to 2009, and the Derby champion Bandicoots of Pokey landed it as well. So this is a real good competition, Matt, and at a tricky circuit, it has to be said, because at Sheffield the straights are not the longest. They're big, swooping bend. It's a gallop, but it can sometimes be a tough place for dogs to pass rivals.
It can be a strange one, can't it? It's one of those tracks where you quite like to be on the front end, even though it's a gallop. If you get something that runs the bends well, because you seem to be forever on the turn, it's certainly a track that often favours those up with the pace.
Do you agree with that, Dave? What should the punters out there be looking for around Sheffield tonight?
Yeah, I would echo what Matt's saying. I do think that you need to be off the front, but you do seem to be always on the turn at Sheffield, and it does sap the stamina as they come off the third bend. So I think whatever will lead this field up, if it gets a couple of lengths on the field, they'll struggle to pull it back in.
Okay, well we've seen the lineup. Let's have a little look at the semi-final action from last week. Big thanks to RPGTV for providing us with these pictures. And Matt, we mentioned Deadly Expert. He's the winner here in the first semi-final from Trap 6. Runner-up Far Right Chaz ran a massive race. See him in the white jacket there, turned sideways at the second bend. He stayed on well to be beaten only 2 3/4 lengths, but 6 was out wide, out of trouble. We might just see the same thing again tonight.
He had an absolute peach of a draw, didn't he, in the semi-finals? Vacant trap inside him. He's come away, and from there, he was never going to be picked up. As you say, Far Height Chaz has run a huge race. For one who's relatively inexperienced still, after that first bend trouble, he did well to qualify.
Yeah, one for the locals there, Far Height Chaz, top local trainer, Barry Draper. Now, a dog that I like a lot, a dog I've backed for the Derby, Headford Ranger here, Matt. He's a strong running sort. He came away in his heat, and he near enough made all. He came away here in his semi-final, and he did make all, beating Lenson Whelan by 3 1/4 lengths.
Yeah, he's come away twice in a row now, as you say, which isn't always the case, but he's very, very strong. He's one of those, if he turned in front tonight, he would be incredibly hard to bring back. Lenson Whelan's helped him a little bit with going right with his first step and giving a nudge to the 4. And he didn't need a second invitation to take full advantage of that.
Yeah, now we're going to see a real class act. Bellevue Raider, Ballymac Ambrose. Now, he has raced from the inside, but I do like him when drawn down in the middle, Matt. He goes here from trap 4, he races from 4 tonight as well. Chasing him home, trap 1, Volcanic Reef as well, who's a classy performer.
Yeah, trap 4 certainly seems to suit Ballymac Ambrose really well, doesn't he? He was brave to drive that bend and get around in front in the semis. And Volcanic Reef just got a little rub on the run-up. Wasn't quite good enough to bring him back, but he stayed on really well to finish second.
Okay, right, we've seen the 3 semi-finals there. We'll bring the prices in again, because as I mentioned, it's wide open. 11 to 4 the field, you can see from the graphic there. The firm's chalking up the jolly, the dog with the draw up on the outside. 18 to 1 Far Height Chaz, and the manner in which that one stayed on might just be one for your forecast and TriCast, but who does everybody fancy? I'll kick off the proceedings. I was very impressed with Ballymac Ambrose. I'm a huge fan of his. He's notched 20 wins from just 35 starts. He was so brave at the first bend in his semi-final, and given the makeup of this race, I think he's going to need to be brave again, but he can do so. He's going to be my selection. I think he's a fair price drawn down the middle. Dave, you agree? Yeah,
I agree. I think Ballymac Ambrose is one of those dogs that a lot of people would think he was a Derby dog, and he has got something that I really like, where when he gets his nose in front, he doesn't mind pushing through and driving a bend and going through maybe a hole that other dogs wouldn't go through. Yeah, the 5 dogs probably going to move inside, but I think Ballymac Ambrose will hold his own and just clear away from them.
But Matt, you're in disagreement. You're going to be with the Volcanic Reef, who of course recently won the £10,000 Coral Winter Derby down at Hove, a proven competition dog.
Absolutely, yeah. He's got some nice efforts around here. I don't think the track suits him quite as well as Hove does, but his last 3 sectionals at Sheffield have been 4:46, 4:39, 4:34. He's getting closer and closer to timing his break. He produced a 4:25 sectional when winning here last March. If he comes away in that kind of form tonight, he's 38 kilo. He's a big boy coming up the inside of that first bend. He'll make room for himself if need be. I think he might reverse the form at about 6 to 1. Decent play.
Good stuff. Right, that's the 9:18 at Sheffield tonight, live on Racing Post Greyhound TV. Now that's a wide open contest. There are a couple of skinny ones on the supporting card. There's open races on the card as well. We're going to have a look at them because we do feel that they're perhaps one for your multiples, your doubles, trebles, your accas, whatever you want to do. First one we're going to look at, the first good thing we fancy, the 6:39 here, Matt. Inca Coney. Now this is a dog, 6 wins from just 7 starts, a professional winner.
Yeah, perfect 5 for 5 in sprints at Sheffield as well. Only a June 18. Well, there's better to come from this youngster. It just runs the track beautifully. Not necessarily always the sharpest trapper, but paces up incredibly well and drives the bend spectacularly for one who's so inexperienced still. Yeah,
he goes in the 6:39. Ballymac Tessa in trap 3 on her inside, should I say, in Coney. She's a bit Balimat Tessa on her inside in trap 3. I fancy we'll head towards the inside 5 and 6 Meadoway Star and then but a little bit hit and miss at the boxes. So I think class will tell there. We move on to the next shorty that we think will oblige, and that's the 7:36 480 metres here, Matt. So a slightly shorter run to the corner, but we're looking at Referendum, who is a sprinting sort with that dazzling early pace.
He has some flying times over the 280 metre trip at Sheffield, and as he showed last week with a 27.64, he stays this 480 fine. His sprinting pace should put him clear, and to be honest, the 3 tonight might actually suit him a tiny bit better than Red did last week, as he moved off just a little bit at that first bend. So this might suit him even better, getting a more direct line into the corner.
He goes in the 7:36. Staying tight on his inside Grumpy. Tinker in trap, so he's drawn inside the pace. I think he can make the bend and make all there. Again, once again, thank you to RPG TV for providing us with those pictures. There's a little bit of chat on RPG TV, guys, because there might be people watching this show who have not seen the channel before. It's on Sky Channel 175. 7 nights a week from 6 p.m. Great coverage for the sport, Matt.
Absolutely. It keeps the sport going every evening, doesn't it, on TV? Great stuff, the guys there, the Lawrence boys, superb stuff that they're putting out, and it's great to be able to watch this sport every night of the week live, and get your bets on, hopefully, and get some winners.
And yourself, Matt, and Dave as well. Bring you and Dave. You've been guests on RPG TV. Yeah, I mean, it's the place to watch greyhound racing of a night time from the comfort of your sofa.
It is. It's our flagship show, and especially the opportunity now that greyhound racing has got, with horse racing obviously not taking centre stage. Really, people at home now should be tuning in and following the dogs as much as possible, and RPG TV is there for people to get involved.
Yes, free to view, of course, on your telly, and of course online as well. The channel sponsors stream it on their website, as well as on the greyhoundbet.racingpost.com website as well. You can watch it streamed there. Alongside Sheffield this evening is Crayford. I've got to bring Matt and Dave in here because I know you guys are big owners down at Jim Daly's kennel. We have lots of dogs in the kennel. Tell us a little bit about Crayford, because it's a little bit different to Sheffield in that it's a lot sharper. Perhaps you want that early speed off the front. And hopefully you can flag up a winner or two for us tonight as well, Matt.
Yeah, fingers crossed. It's actually not a bad card there tonight. It's a couple of tasty-looking top-grade contests over 540 metres, the 6-bend trip. But it is a track where you are looking for early pace, especially when we go and buy dogs. You're looking for dogs who've got that natural trapping ability to get out and away from trouble.
Okay, and Dave, I'm sure you agree with that. I mean, we do have races regularly down at Crayford over 4, 6 and 8 bends, but them long straights and tight turns do lend themselves to the early pace types.
They do. You generally get a dog that gets out in front, grabs the rail, and they're very, very hard to pass. Even when a dog starts getting tired, they're really hard to go around. You often find dogs that, especially that we pick up, aren't getting a true 4 bends. They get 380 metres, they're laden with early pace, and that's the type of dogs we generally look for at Crayford.
Okay, in terms of winners tonight, what have you guys picked up then? I'm hoping you're not going to disappoint, and we're looking for 2 dogs off the front. What do we like, Matt, tonight? What catches the eye?
There's one in the 927. It's one of the aforementioned S1 contests, Southfield Aerial for Dean Childs. She's been in great heart of late over both 540 and 714. She did a flying 23.05 sectional over the longer trip last time. She got the better of Snowden Archie when they met on the 8th of February. They meet again tonight. She should hold her position around the outside of him early on, and then from 2 to 3, put the jets on, and that should be over. Okay,
vote for Southfield Aerial there. What about yourself, Dave?
I'm on Droopy's Noodle in the 10:35 at Crayford tonight. Drawn in 6, comes into this on the back of 2 solid wins. Anybody that follows greyhound racing, especially around Crayford, will know all about Droopy's Noodle. Really, really good dog for the Dean Childs kennel. does the business over 4 bends and 6 bends, and the times that he's putting up recently are really, really good. And I think in this S1 competition, he'll have too much class for them.
Lovely stuff. 2 singles and a double for the My Racing lads there down at Crayford tonight. Let's move on then, because I mentioned there are 2 big finals tonight. We've covered the RPGTV Steel City Cup final, £10,000 up for grabs there. There are £12,500 up for grabs in the Ladbrokes Puppy Derby final. That's at Monmore. That's at 6:49 this evening. Fortunate enough to be able to watch that one on Racing Post Greyhound TV as well tonight. Let's bring in the betting. We've got a skinny one in track 2 here. Liz McNair's Queen, Jessie J. Before we get onto the lineup, I mean, Matt, this is a competition that year after year after year churns out superstars, Derby champions. I mean, Derby winners have won this. Bandicoot's Poker also mentioned won the Steel City Cup, has won this. Remember, Rio Quattro being a finalist in this. This is one in which you take note and you follow the 6 dogs lining up.
It's a superb competition, isn't it? And this year's final looks no different. They'll head off in different paths. There's a couple in here that are going to be nice 4-bend dogs. There's at least one in here who we think is going to be a nice 6-bend dog in time. But yeah, they're going to be fascinating to follow as they continue their career.
And David, word on the track, Monmore. 480 metres is a standard trip here, but the fast dogs cover it in sort of under 28 seconds. So this is very, very much a speed track. It
is, yeah. You generally find a dog that bangs out. We've seen Drooper's Edition, Antigua Breeze, 2 very classy dogs that have run out Monmore in the Trafalgar Cup. Those type of dogs with this early pace that can bang out, get on the front end, they generally do best at Monmore.
And we mentioned how important the lead could be. Perhaps even more so, Dave, in that we've got 6 inexperienced pups lining up, and only one dog can lead. That experience, greenness, might just show, and they could be crowding in behind.
It is. I mean, you get this all the time with pups. Pups improve. Pups have a habit of making a fool of all of us, especially when you think, oh, we've got a good one, then they go backwards, or they can improve from race to race, especially in competitions. Competition dogs totally different to an open dog. They've got to go week in, week out, producing at 100%. So, I mean, we've got a couple of nice ones in this, and no doubt we'll see them in the future in big competitions.
Absolutely. Right, well, let's have a look at last week's semi-finals. I mentioned we've got a skinny one, 11-10 even money shot. Queen, Jessie J. She goes in track 2 for Liz McNair in the final. She won from 3 in the first of these semi-finals, Matt, beating Littermate and Kennelmate King Drake, who's out in 6.
Yeah, her first move out the traps was slightly left, so the drawing 2 won't be any issue for her. She was the quickest qualifier for the final with a 27.82, and she's drawn together a lovely run to the bend again tonight.
She's 4 wins from 5 starts, so a very good breaker, and she's certainly not short stamina either. She was full of running as they crossed the line for the first time. 1-2 for Liz McNair in that semi-final. King Drake, he switches to 5, which I sometimes think's tough box break from it more and more, so he might be able to trap just as well and show that early speed. We move on to the next semi-final. There's a John Mullins 1-2 actually in this semi-final. Fantastical out in trap 6. He was away and gone in the stripe jacket. Swift Lettuce, I thought, Matt, run a huge race here. I mean, he doesn't necessarily want to be in trap 1, but you can see him moving off and touchdown the run to the corner. But he did battle very, very hard because he got far from a clear run, particularly around bends 3 and 4, but he still managed to...
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see in just a minute on the replay here. The 3 takes him out a little bit wider than he would like to be. There we go, at the 4th bend, and but he's done incredibly well to battle back, and he's closing all the way to the line. He certainly is a very nice prospect. Fantastic all the winner there for John Mullins. The 5 moves straight left in the boxes. It gave him a lovely clear run round. That bit of trouble at the 4th bend helped him again. Take nothing away from the dog. He's taken full advantage of his opportunity. This is certainly going to be far more difficult for Fantastical.
Now we're going to look at a real special greyhound. Ernie Gaskin's Nguyen Jacko won the 3rd semi-final. From trap 6, it was the white dogs that dominated here, because it was Droopy's Premier, Matt, who chased him home in 5, but this was sensational from Stripes.
Yeah, it's exceptional. And we've seen Droopy's premiere at Nottingham do a 17.74 over the 305 metre trip. He is not short of early pace, and Ewan Jacko has left him dead to the bend. Whether he'll be able to come away quite so well from 3 tonight is a question he'll have to answer, but he certainly is. He's got a huge engine on him. That 27.85 was massively impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the start is going to be key here, lads, I fancy. I mean, if Queen Jessie J is not quick away like she was in the semi-final, we saw Swift Lettuce, who's got trap one in the final, moving off. So she's going to need to be sharp from the boxes, but that's her game, Queen Jessie J. We'll bring the betting back in then, because she's 11-10, and there are some big prices here, Matt, about some exciting young greyhounds.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as I said, Droopy's premier's form at Nottingham, you kind of think perhaps he has a slightly better break from these boxes in the locker. And 12 to 1's a big price. King Drake, litter, brother to Queen Jessie J, possibly not the right box, but we saw fantastical in his semi-final. If King Drake misses it from 5, which is entirely possible, he might get a reasonable run to that bend again. And as he showed, he's a very quick dog when he gets the run.
Indeed. And Dave, I know you've kept a keen eye on this competition yourself. We've got a skinny one, but I mean, as we've already mentioned, these pups, they can make balls of you. Might there be one lurking in here at a price that we've not quite seen the best of yet? Surely that's the case.
I think, obviously, we know how good Queen Jessie J is, and we've obviously all highly rate her. Ewan Jacko is a lovely dog. I think Ewan Jacko could be one that we take out of this competition, and he probably goes on to bigger and better things. But with all these pups, to get to a final, you don't take a bad pup to a competition like this, and all 6 of them will be showing up in big competitions in the future, whatever happens tonight.
Absolutely, yes. We've got all 6 names down right, but all that said and done, who does everybody fancy in the final? It's a 6.49 at Mormore, and it's a full house, as you can see from the graphic there. Queen Jessie J, the favourite in the blue jacket. I'll make my case first. She's trappy. I think she can beat Swift Lettuce to the punch. Big fan of Ewan Jacko, but back on the 29th of February, he raced from track 4 at Mormore, and he definitely moved off. Now, that was from 4. He's actually got 3 tonight, so I think he'll move off even more. He could have called problems to Droopy's premiere, but more than anything else, he's going to open up the track to Queen Jessie J, who I think can track and may call. Dave, have I missed anything? What can you add? I mean, she's going to be a short price, but we think she's going to get the job done.
She very much reminds me of Queen Beyonce. She's got the whole package. She's got the early pace. She's obviously going to get a bit of room from the box. And as we seen when she crossed the line in the semi-final, she really gets the trip. And the 480 is no problem at all. She could potentially get 6 bends in the future. So she traps, she stays, and she's going to get room at the box. If she gets out in front, I just can't see them picking her up.
Good stuff. And Matt, anything to add? Two cases made for Queen Jessie J. I know you're with her as well. Is it going to be as simple as quick away, always there?
I certainly hope so. I think she'll beat trap 1, Swift Lettuce to the punch. 3 will move off. It should give her a beautiful run to the bend. And hopefully, from Dave and my point of view, we have a couple of the pups out the skate on Dam Line with Dan Braven at the moment. They're March 19, so we look forward to anything these skate ons do on track just adds to the excitement for us.
Okay, good stuff. Right, our best bets are coming, but before we move on to them, want to find out a little bit more about My Racing, what My Racing is all about, because I know you guys provide tips, Dave, but more of a community as well. I mean, it's kind of, you know, everyone gets involved, there's a lot of social media interaction. Try and just break it down for us a little bit about what My Racing actually is.
My Racing offers advice, tips, guides on their website and on the social media feed. We've got roughly 250,000 followers. We follow the horse racing in the UK islands, obviously the Greyhounds, and we've got the Australian, the American horses. So we cover a wide range of things, but yeah, the Twitter feed is very much a social community. where everybody gets involved. We tend to find that people have conversations with us, in-depth, knowledgeable people that know exactly what they're talking about, and it's just a bit of a community.
Excellent stuff. And Matt, a team of tipsters, and when do the tips get released, and how do people find them?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a fair team of tipsters that cover, as Dave said, racing from all over the world. The Greyhound tips are up by 5 p.m, 7 nights a week on myracing.com. You can find all of our selections there. And as Dave says, for all the horses for the UK when they're back, Ireland, Australia, America, we have people on the ground everywhere, which is a huge plus for us.
Okay, excellent stuff. Right, now then, gentlemen, best bets of the evening. Let's have a look at what we've come up with. I'll kick us off because I'm a little bit left field, away from the action we've already mentioned. I'm going to Hove this evening, down on the south coast, the 8:38 top grade action, and I'm with top trainer down there, Seamus Cargill. I like his dinner, Richard Allen. 4 wins and 4 seconds from 17 starts. Classy performer, he's on the comeback. I just feel this is an open class dog in a graded contest. I think he'll get off the front from track 6. There, Dave, we know you like Droopy's Noodle at Crayford, but just put a little bit more meat on the bones for us and tell us why it's a good thing in that 10:35.
Yeah, at the present moment in time, we know how good he is. I've said that. He's so consistent. I mean, he's done a 12.74 on the 29th of Feb. These are splits, 12.74. Then he's done a 12.76. And then he's produced times 33.81, 33.87, all from trap 6, winning as he pleased. If he produces that again, I mean, they were in open race competitions. He's in an S1, but we know that with obviously things happening at the present moment in time with the coronavirus and stuff, that these type of dogs are getting a chance in the grades. And Droopy's Noodle's not one to miss when he drops back in a grade. I just can't see him being beaten.
And Matt, you are going with the aforementioned Queen Jessie J, the 6:39 at Monmore. And we just expect to trap and make all.
That would be the plan anyway. Wouldn't necessarily normally put up a pup as my best bet, but she looks a real superstar. So looking forward to seeing her tonight.
She does look the real deal indeed. Right, just a quick thank you to RPG TV and SIS for helping us out with those replays that we were able to bring you there. We thank you for watching, you guys and girls out there. Do please remember to gamble responsibly. Thank you to both Matt and Dave for their insight and expertise. Join us again next time for another edition of Trap to Line.